What's up everyone, I'm Andrew and you're watching the RPG Machine 86, and today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Sony press conference at E3 2016. That's what you have to do. You have to just applaud the guys at Sony because they came out and killed it. Crushed everyone's press conferences, in my opinion. Destroyed everybody. Microsoft, sorry guys, they crushed you. Sony killed it, and it's exciting, man, because Sony in the past has showed us stuff and then led us on and on and on, which I'm going to get to later. And it's kind of like, oh, I wish they could just dragging us along. Not this time. It's like a little bit of atmosphere build up. We got these orchestras and like these people singing weird monk shit, and then boom, some games. And the first game we see, got my list, my notes right here. God of War. What? They show this kid, and someone's talking to the kid, and you're like, that voice kind of sounds familiar, but it sounds a little rough. I don't know who it is. And then boom, war-hardened, grizzled, old Kratos. He looked so cool. And being a fan of God of War, like when you see him like that, you're like, oh, I want to get some story. Let me know a little bit about what's going on with you, man. Cause dude, he looks so cool, and gotta say, super excited for that game. And the troll that he fought, dude, what? Classic God of War stuff, awesome. The Last Guardian comes out October 25th. What? What? I cannot believe it. But The Last Guardian actually has a release date. We are actually going to get to play The Last Guardian in October. Man, I am so excited for this. They showed a little bit more gameplay. I don't care. I don't want to see anything else. Just let me have the game when it comes out on October 25th, 2016. This time, it's happening. Like, at least we know that it's coming. It's going to come now. Like, it is a game that's coming out, and we're going to get to play it. I'm so psyched on The Last Guardian. Can't wait. Alright. Now, when they showed this video last year of this game, there was just something about it that told me, I was like, no, this is going to be the one, man. This is going to be one that crushes, and it's going to come out of nowhere, and people are going to be like, damn, have you played Horizon Zero Dawn? All the gameplay that they showed looks stellar, man. I'm so psyched that it's an action RPG where you can use different weapons, and you're fighting these crazy huge monster robotic organism things, and you get such a I told somebody that was asking me, well, what's it look like? To me, it's almost like if Turok and maybe Far Cry Primal had a baby, and there was way more awesome thrown into it with robots. That's kind of what it feels like. I love the fact that it feels primitive, yet super advanced. That's such a cool thing, man. It's kind of like the Star Wars syndrome, where everything looks old and beaten up, but it's so much more advanced, sort of like that. But Horizon is on my list. I cannot wait for that game to come out. It looks like it's going to be the next game that I really get hooked on, and I hope it is, because I have pretty high hopes. I don't set my sights too high because I know it's not going to be the perfect game, but it does look really, really cool, and I can't wait to get my hands on Horizon. I've said it since the last trailer. This new stuff just confirmed everything. I'm down. Day one. Probably going to get the collector's edition because it looks that cool. Awesome. Cannot wait for Horizon. Cannot wait. Okay. So next they talk about this game, Detroit, Becoming Human. And it's made by the guys that made Beyond what is it? Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain. And Indigo Prophecy, which I like Indigo Prophecy, but Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, and even L.A. Noire, which L.A. Noire had a great story. That's why that game's worth it. Which this game could have a great story too, but basically you're an android that is hunting other androids that are bad, so it's kind of like weird Blade Runner-ish shit without any of the coolness. And they showed a scenario where a dude has a girl captive and you have to either, shoot him or try to tackle him, and like you and the girl and him could die, or just you and him could die, or just the girl could die. Just a million scenarios. And games like that are cool, but to me, man, really, honestly, it's just not going to do it for me at the end of the day, because there's not enough for me to actually do in the game. I want the story to drive me, to make me want to play, and I want to actually play. And these games are more just like interactive movies, which, to each of their own. If it's cool to you, hey man, Detroit might be the game for you. Okay, now we're going to talk about the VR. I'm still kind of skeptical on the VR because I haven't used one personally yet, but a lot of people that I'm friends with or I interact with have used it, and they've told me, man, this is it. This is legitimately VR and is legitimately something that's going to revolutionize the way you play games. And I mean, I can't deny it at this point. Everybody just keeps bringing it up, and the people that are doing it are credible. So, like, I know that it's true. And Sony showed us some shit, man. And I'm not sure about the technicalities yet, but if you can buy the headset without having to buy the new PS 4.5, I might be down. But if you have to buy the 4.5 and the VR in order to use the VR, fuck that, man. That's going to be like $800, and like, nah, it ain't happening. But, to all you VR head guys out there that are going to get that shit, fucking awesome, dude, and I'll watch videos of you playing shit. But we have to remain super silent for a second and just pay homage to what's about to happen next. Because legitimately, in a long time with E3, I was legitimately, holy shit, surprised. They show a VR game that is a horror theme. You can tell right from the beginning, the guy wakes up in this old, creaky, nasty-looking environment, and there's some like cockroaches under this pot that he picks up, and some other things happen, here and there. He's like opening doors. Super, super creepy. And then it says Resident Evil 7 at the end of it. And I know more than that happened, but if you haven't seen it, just go check out the teaser. But as soon as it said Resident Evil 7, I was like, holy shit. Because not only is it a new Resident Evil game that we haven't heard anything about, but you can play it in VR. And then my mind just started racing in the fact that if they could do this the right way, this is the next thing in horror. Like, a horror movie that you are actually in and like involved in, manipulating, changing. Being a horror fan, that just, oh my god, it blew my mind. I was like, this is crazy. And I cannot wait. I want to play Resident Evil 7 because I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil anyway. But just the fact that like you can also play it in VR, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. It looks amazing, and I cannot wait to try a horror game in VR. That is going to be something that really, like, that's exciting, man. That's totally exciting. It's almost as exciting as playing a like Dungeons and Dragons type game in virtual reality. Oh my god, I'm just giving myself mind blows over and over. Resident Evil 7, I cannot be more psyched. The fact that we're getting a new Resident Evil, and it's Resident Evil 7, it's not Resident Evil Raccoon Project X47259. It's, it's just a new Resident Evil, psyched for Resident Evil, and the fact that it's on VR, what? And then, we get more VR shit that blows my mind because they hit us with Star Wars, Battlefront, X-Wing VR missions. And you're flying a fucking X-Wing, dude. You are in the X-Wing and you are flying the X-Wing and dogfighting in space, dude. What? And why wasn't it in Battlefront to begin with, you fucks? But anyways, that's a whole nother video. Dude, you get to fly an X-Wing and dogfight in space, and it's virtual reality. You're in the fucking cockpit. Do you even need... You don't even need to say anything else. It's Star Wars X-Wing game that you're in the cockpit and you are flying in virtual reality. Amazing. And then something else happened that was pretty cool, but kind of a letdown because they didn't show anything. You hear these voices and you're like, oh, well, being the fan I am, to granted, not everybody is going to get this, but I was like, well, this is a Batman thing because you can totally tell that that's Mark Hamill talking. And they show a Batman cowl or whatever, and it's like Batman VR. And I was like, oh my god, I get to be Batman. Like, you get to be Batman and not like, just like, you are him. You are like, you are him. You're seeing through his eyes. If that's what, I mean, legitimately, if that's what it's like, life-changing, not life-changing, I guess that's a little extreme. But dude, really, like, that's a crazy experience to have. The fact that you can be Batman. Now, they didn't show anything, dudes, but I'm just a big Batman fan. I really, The Dark Knight's a fucking cool character. I'm pretty excited about that. And it did say Rocksteady. If I am not incorrect, I am almost 98% positive I saw Rocksteady, and I was like, okay, I'm on board. Totally on board. Final Fantasy 15 has VR stuff. Cool. Still not sold on Final Fantasy 15, to be honest with you. I'm going to play it, but I just don't have high hopes, man, and I know that sucks, but yeah. So VR on Final Fantasy 15, cool. Makes it cooler. It does make it a little cooler, honestly, a little bit. Call of Duty is in space now. That's a thing that's happening. And also, they're making a remastered version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, which is pretty cool, because that game is actually awesome if you play the storyline. So, Call of Duty. Woohoo! Stop the presses. Crash Bandicoot? There was teasers here and there on the internet for a while now that, like, yeah, he's coming back, he's making a comeback, they're going to bring him back, and it's like, I don't know, man. I gotta see some more solid evidence. Well, boom, baby. Remastered version of 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure if they're gonna separate them or they're gonna put them on a disc or what. I mean, like, they didn't really go into that. But just the fact that we're getting new Crash Bandicoot stuff. Me and my sister back in the day, I got a 64. She got a PlayStation. She was the smarter one of us. She got Crash Bandicoot, and dude, Crash Bandicoot was so much fun. The original one is the only one I've really ever played. I mean, I played the other ones, but all the way through, the original Crash Bandicoot is excellent. To play it on my PS4 now, HD, and not have to pay the absorbent price, because Crash Bandicoot games are getting expensive now. But, dude, sold. Ready to play some new Crash Bandicoot. Freaking awesome. They're also making Crash a Skylander. Awesome. Get that character out there and let kids figure out who Crash Bandicoot is, because that's only going to make the property get more steam. If we get more steam, guys, and we buy this game and we tell them, yeah, we want more, maybe we'll get the new Crash Bandicoot that we've all been waiting for. And that will be a sweet, sweet part of this whole deal, is to get the new Crash Bandicoot. Even though we're getting the old ones, which is totally awesome because they're going to be redone and look pretty, we still want that new one. So let's keep the fight alive. Come on, Crash. I can feel it, man. Man, this part made me so... I look like I do right now, just beaming, because... Motherfucking Kojima! Oh, shit, dude! Kojima comes out, and it's like, my new game, boom! And we get to see this new game, and it's this weird naked guy laying on the ground, and it's like really like mud and weird shit's going on. There's a baby crying, and then the dude stands up, and it's Norman Reedus. Holy shit! So is this the same game that we were going to get? I mean, we don't know that now, but you have to think like, oh man, this is the game? Like we're getting it, even though, dude, to me, Kojima coming out and doing this, and just being able to be like, I mean, without even saying it, just be like, hey Capcom, baby, how's it taste? How's it feel to be totally like, fuck you, man. I am big enough to do my own shit, boy. I don't need you motherfuckers. And dude, to me, that just made my heart so like full for him, because as a man, to be able to do that and stand on your own and be like, I made this game, it's my company, we did this, and this is it. And I totally just got sidetracked, but okay, so Norman Reedus, he like stands up with this baby, and I think the baby like turned to oil or some shit. It was fucking weird. And then there was these fucking things in the sky above him, and he's like standing there, and it just says Death Stranded. And I'm like, ugh. The only part of it that I didn't like, I was like, that name just sounds like a terrible, terrible horror movie that no one would like. And, I mean, the name aside, the CG video looked cool. We didn't get to see much of the game itself, but I still feel like Kojima came out, he showed this, he's proud of it, and it's totally awesome, man. Like, fucking awesome for you, dude. Like, anything you do, I'm totally going to support, because I love Metal Gear. And the fact that Sony's got your back, because honestly, when you think about it, or when I do anyways, Metal Gear is a Sony property, even though, they are on Xbox now, and, he's in Snakes and Smash Bros, and, all that. But to me, Sony is where Metal Gear will always be in my heart. And the fact that they're just like, yeah, we got your back, dude. Like, we'll make this game. Let's do it. Awesome, man. Like, I'm just so psyched. And it might even be coming out for Xbox, I don't know, but just the fact that he got to come out at their conference, and they had enough respect for him, and he had enough respect for them, and they, oh man, awesome. So happy for Kojima, and I want to play this game. It looks fucking awesome. It's going to be some kind of horror shit, because it's one of the creepiest fucking things. Like, you gotta go watch that video. It's fucking weird. The last two things, still kind of excited about them, but I was so jazzed after Kojima came out that I didn't even really pay attention to these as much, but got a really cool Spider-Man game coming out by Insomniac? I'm intrigued, because they are more popular for the Ratchet and Clank series. So, I'm kind of excited, and Spider-Man looked really cool. The suit they had looked really cool. And then the last game they showed earlier, and I didn't even bring it up because it's just another zombie game to me. It didn't look that exciting really at all, but it is called Days Gone. And Days Gone is like trying to bank on this fact that they did have a lot of enemies coming at this guy, and I'm talking like an insane amount of enemies, because my two favorite zombie games of modern years are Dead Rising, the original with what the fuck? I just talked about it and I can't even remember. Frank West. Jesus Christ. Frank West is one of my favorite characters in a game, modern games, period. He's like And I know that it's not super modern anymore, but I love the original Dead Rising, and I love Left 4 Dead. Those are my two games, and the reason I like them is because Dead Rising is like the overwhelming, crazy amount of enemies, but also comical, and it feels a lot more like kind of the Romero of the Dead kind of stuff, and I really like that. And then you go to Left 4 Dead, which is just a visceral attack from tons of enemies at once, and I really like that. This game doesn't really look like either of those, but the amount of enemies is reminiscent of Left 4 Dead, but this game looks more slow paced and like kind of like The Last of Us, which I love. The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of the last generation, but honestly don't want to play a game like this with this lame generic seeming character and just not, I don't know, not too enthused on that. But hey, we got a hell of a conference, and I'm going to wrap it up just by saying, Sony, you killed it. I can't wait to play some of these games, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.